So that's just started the party life. And the college I was going to was real close to the Mexican border, so we used to, go across the Mexican border and party like we were. It was crazy college kids. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate. But so this just continued, and I met a few guys there, and I ended up having these a couple guys that were good friends of mine. We were partying friends, so I met them through partying, and they were my friends, what I thought were my friends, and so the party scene just continued. I didn't really make it through college. I maybe got a few credits, but never was in class because I was always finding the next party to go to. So I ended up having to go back home and go to a community college and continue the whole party life and try to keep this all hidden from my parents. And so I had these two best friends, and we even made a pact together. We're all best friends, even though the other two knew each other since they were kids, and I kind of joined the group later. But we decided that we were all equal best friends, and we did everything together. So now, me and my other friend, his name was Brian. We stayed and went to the community college, close to home. But the other friend, his name was Devin. He went to school in Florida, so he was away, and so me and Brian, we made sure to keep the partying going while our other friend was away. And our friend Brian, he used to house sit for this doctor, and so we used to throw parties in this doctor's house when he was away for the weekend. And it got crazy. And I don't have to go into detail. I'm sure a lot of you know what parties are like. But my friend, he was always the first to get the party started. Like it'd be 9 a.m, he'd have a beer ready for me. Wake up, it's time to drink again. So after this one party at the doctor's house, we cleaned up everything, and then, we started on back to our separate homes. And I told Brian, I'll catch up with you. Maybe I'll come by your house on Wednesday, and then we'll meet up on for the weekend. But I'll come by maybe on Wednesday to see what you're doing. So I went there on Wednesday, and he was there, and he was talking to some girl that I didn't know who she was. And I said, who's this girl you're talking to? He said, oh, well, she's a friend from college. She's just telling me about Jesus. And I said, oh, I don't want to hear about that. I'll see you later. So I said, I'll meet up with you at our normal spot on Friday. We got to decide which party we want to go to because all our friends are going to be in town. It's Thanksgiving weekend. So I'll meet up with you, and we'll figure it out. And then he said, okay. So I was out of there as fast as I could get out of there because I didn't want Jesus knowing what I was doing, even though he already did. But so the weekend came, and we met at our spot, and he comes in and was like, okay, I got a party over here, and I got a party here, and a party here. These girls are going to be here, these girls are going to be at this one, and these other girls are going to be at this one. So which one do you want to go to first? And he says, I really think I want to drink. I said, well, you don't want to start drinking yet? He goes, no, I don't think I want to drink anymore, period. I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense to me because he's always the first one that wants to start drinking. So I paid him no mind. I said, all right, well, if you don't want to drink, we partied hard the week before, so I thought, well, that's no problem. We'll just, we're still going to go out though. There's a party over here, there's a party over here, there's a party here, there's girls here, here, and here. We gotta still going to go, right? He goes, yeah, okay, I guess we could go. So, all right, let's go. So I said, I'll drive. I had a little RX-7, his little sports car, and so he got in the passenger seat. So here we go. So we hadn't been drinking, but we were off to the first party. So had to make a left. Coming up, we're on this highway. Going to make this left at the light, and there was this van. He was parked. He was he was like halfway in the turning lane and halfway in the middle of the highway. Like, he didn't know like what he was doing. So I'm coming up with my sports car, and I remember looking around, like, what is this guy doing? You know, he's like, doesn't know what he wants to do. I said, oh, you know, I'm just going to go around him. So I went around him on the driver's side, and I didn't see that there was a truck coming 65 miles an hour. And that was all that I remember. Until, well, I woke up for a few seconds when I was in an ambulance, and I heard some rustling around outside, like, and I heard the police scanners going off and on, and I heard one of the police officers saying, "Oh, it was something about a DOA," and I knew what DOA meant, but I didn't want to believe it. So, but then I was out again, and I didn't wake up till I was in the hospital, and I wake up in the hospital, and there's my parents, my mom and my dad, and there's this doctor. He's got this metal tube. He's poking it in my chest, and he's like, "This is gonna hurt." I said, "What?" And he just jammed that thing right in my neck. Screamed like a little baby. Jammed it in because I had broken my lungs. Broken my ribs. My lungs were punctured and they were full of blood. And I had broken 3 vertebrae in my spine. So they were inserting the metal tube to pump the blood out of my lungs. So he jammed it in there, and he goes, "Oh, it didn't go all the way in." He said, "This is gonna hurt again." Boom, jammed it in, went again, screaming. But but back to the accident scene. I didn't find out this until later, but one of the fire marshals that came to the scene, he was actually our next door neighbor, so he told my parents what had happened at the scene. Well, what happened was, he said I was alert, I was awake during this whole thing. They had to cut both of us out of the car. And as they were cutting me out, I guess I was screaming at them to get away from me, go help my friend. So apparently I was awake during the whole thing and I could see what was going on, but for whatever reason, God erased that from my mind. I don't remember any of that. I just barely remember going around that van. That's all that I remember. And then waking up in an ambulance for those few seconds to hear the news about a DOA. If you don't know what a DOA, that's dead on arrival. Which my best friend Brian was, dead on arrival. And my life was spared thanks to I know it was thanks to my parents. They never stopped praying for me, because even though I thought I was a slickster and I could hide what I was doing, my parents knew I was running around partying and drinking and doing all sorts of crazy things. So they kept praying for me. They kept praying for God's protection over me, and I know that's the only reason why that I survived that. But the doctors said that they didn't even know why I was alive. It was just, they couldn't explain it. And so I'm in the hospital bed, and I hear that some of my other friends, this is like the second day, some of my friends are out in the lobby, and I said, "Oh, well, I'm going to go see them." And there weren't letting too many people in my room because I was in critical condition, whatever. So when the nurses turned their back, I unplugged everything and I jumped out of bed and I went to the lobby to hang out with my friends. And the nurses, when they found me, they kept, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? What are you doing out of bed?" But the craziest thing is God, He miraculously healed me, and I walked out of the hospital 3 days later.
Wow.
Yes. But to me, I couldn't acknowledge that God had done this miracle for me, that saved my life and let me walk out of that hospital 3 days later so I could attend my best friend's funeral, which I really wanted to do.